welcome to the channel. Have you ever wondered what really drives us as human beings? Is it a relentless pursuit of happiness, love, peace, comfort? Or are we motivated by something far more intense? Something that lies deep within our primal nature? Something Nietzsche called the will to power. In today's episode, we're going to plunge into the thought-provoking world of Friedrich Nietzsche, one of the most controversial philosophers of all time. He dared to question everything, including the very foundation of Western morality, religion, and traditional philosophy. So join me on this thought-provoking journey and let us explore Nietzsche's concept of the will to power and discover whether he was right when he claimed that we are fundamentally driven by a will to power and that traditional morality has been based on a fundamental misunderstanding of human nature. Let's begin. Nietzsche's philosophy is like a double-edged sword. It challenges everything you think you know and makes you question your deepest beliefs. But before we dive into the will to power, let's quickly look at who Nietzsche was and why he's such a big deal in philosophy. Nietzsche was a German philosopher, cultural critic, poet and composer born on October 15, 1844, in Rostock, Germany. He was famous for his radical ideas and for declaring that God was dead. Throughout his work, Nietzsche challenged conventional thinking, and he did so in an extremely unique way. Nietzsche was a genius when it came to writing. He wasn't a fan of boring, long paragraphs. Instead, he wrote in short, punchy sentences that are like little bombs of ideas. This made his books hard to read because he didn't explain his thoughts step by step. Instead, he wanted you to wrestle with him, to fight with him, to question him, to try to understand him. Some people hate this, but those who love Nietzsche love him because of it. He was against traditional views on morality, religion, society, and even logic. He questioned everything that people took for granted, and that's why he's so important. In his book, Twilight of the Idols, Nietzsche expressed his disbelief in Christianity and traditional morality by saying, God is dead, which actually isn't just about religion, but also about how people stopped believing in absolute values. His idea was that when people lost faith in God, they also lost faith in traditional values and morals. Here are some of his most famous quotes that show how he questioned things that most people didn't question. There are no facts, only interpretations, which means there's no objective truth, only how we understand it. My formula for human greatness is amorpha T, which means he believed that accepting everything, even pain and death, is the highest form of human strength. Out of life's a school of war, one learns compassion, which means he thought we learn empathy by experiencing and overcoming pain. And without music, life would be a mistake, showing how much he valued creativity. And some of his major works include Thus Spoke Zarathustra, where he introduces the idea of the Bemensch beyond good and evil, where he attacks traditional morality and religion, and On the Genealogy of Morality, where he traces the origins of our moral values. Now let's jump into Nietzsche's concept of the will to power. The will to power is like the main thing that drives us, according to Nietzsche. He believed that everything we do, everything we think and feel is because of this one big drive inside of us. According to Nietzsche, this will to power is what makes us human. He saw it as the main force behind our actions and our creativity, even our destruction. He believed that everything in nature, including us, is always trying to grow stronger and more capable. It's like a basic desire to be better, to do more, and to leave your mark on the world. For Nietzsche, this will to power isn't just about wanting to control others. It's about growing, creating, being the best you can be, and having the freedom to make your own choices without anyone telling you what to do. Now here's the interesting part. Nietzsche didn't think that our desire to survive was the most important thing that drives us. That's what most philosophers at the time believed. But Nietzsche turned things upside down. He argued that we don't want to live just for the sake of living. We want to do great things, to create, to overcome challenges, to experience life to the fullest. Nietzsche believed that our will to power is what makes life exciting and meaningful. It's what pushes us to explore, to invent, to create, and to strive for greatness. It's about constantly improving and becoming your best self. It's about taking risks, embracing challenges, and pushing past your limits. It is about pursuing your goals with passion and dedication and never giving up in the face of adversity. But above all, it is about having the freedom to make your own choices and being in control of your own destiny. According to Nietzsche, we all have a will to power, but how we express it can be different. He talked about two types of morality, master morality and slave morality, which show how this will to power can affect how we see good and evil. Master morality, according to Nietzsche, comes from the powerful and strong, those who make the rules and set the standards. For them, being good means being strong, proud, brave, independent, powerful, and noble. They value qualities that help them stay on top and keep their power. Nietzsche thought that these people create their own values because they don't have to follow anyone else's rules. They're free to do whatever they want because they're the strongest. On the other hand, slave morality, also known as resentment, comes from those who are weak and feel like they don't have power. Nietzsche said that these people often feel jealous and resentful of the powerful. Because of this, they turn their feelings into a kind of weapon. Nietzsche called this weapon with resentment, those who feel weak attack, those who are strong and question why they should be the ones who suffer. Over time, they start to believe that being strong and powerful is wrong. Instead, they focus on being humble, kind, sympathetic, equal, and helpful to others. For slave moral people, being good means making others happy and helping those who are suffering. So essentially, Nietzsche is saying that those who hold power create their own values based on strength and excellence, while those who feel powerless often resent the powerful and create values centered around humility and compassion. Now, Nietzsche wasn't saying one type of morality is better than the other. He was just pointing out that both types exist and that our values often depend on our position in society. Nietzsche himself preferred the values of master morality, but he understood the appeal of slave morality for those who felt mistreated. So why does any of this matter? Well, Nietzsche believed that many societies, especially in modern times, had too much of the slave morality. He thought this was partly because Christianity was so influential, as Christianity traditionally promotes humility, compassion, and helping others. Nietzsche worried that this emphasis on weakness was hurting humanity's potential, because people were striving to be the best they could be. He longed for a return to the values of master morality. But he wasn't suggesting that we throw out all compassion and kindness. Instead, he wanted us to recognize the importance of strength, creativity, and self. One of the ways Nietzsche suggested we could do this was through the idea of remember that whole Superman thing? Yeah, that's it. But Nietzsche wasn't talking about someone who can fly or has X-ray vision. In fact, he didn't believe in any kind of god or superpowers. For Nietzsche, the Übermensch was a human being, albeit an extraordinary one. Think of it as a term to describe someone who achieves a high level of self-mastery, creativity, and strength. Nietzsche believed that this person was unruled by society's expectations or fears, and instead created their own values and lived life on their own terms. Essentially, the Übermensch is someone who fully embraces the will to power, overcomes societal constraints, and creates their own path in life. They take full responsibility for themselves and their actions and are not bound by guilt or shame. They are self-reliant, creative, and courageous, constantly striving to improve themselves and overcome challenges. The Übermensch is not a superhero in the traditional sense, but rather a symbol of human potential and the possibilities that arise when one embraces the will to power and rejects conventional morality. Okay, so you've now got a crash course in Nietzsche's thought, and if you're still with me, let's discuss the significance of Nietzsche's philosophy and why it continues to be relevant even today. Friedrich Nietzsche's ideas shook the foundations of Western philosophy, and his influence can be seen in various fields like psychology, literature, art, and even fashion. Despite the controversy surrounding his work, his ideas about power, morality, religion, and what it means to be human continue to fascinate and provoke discussion even today. After all, his revolutionary approach to thinking and willingness to challenge conventional norms paved the way for new perspectives and interpretations of the world. Nietzsche's concept of the will to power offers a fresh lens through which to view human motivation and explores the depths of our desires and drives. His insights into the complexities of good and evil and the roots of our moral values invite us to question and examine our deeply held beliefs. Furthermore, his enigmatic idea of the Übermensch serves as a compelling metaphor for the potential of the human spirit and the constant striving for self-improvement and personal growth. In conclusion, Friedrich Nietzsche's work remains a significant and thought-provoking part of our intellectual heritage. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this episode, please don't forget to share your thoughts on Nietzsche's radical ideas in the comments below. If you found this video insightful, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. Join our growing community of thinkers and join us every week for our release of new material. Until next time, keep questioning, keep thinking, and keep exploring the depths of knowledge.